Clarinets, let's take a look at chromatic scale number 2. This is your concert F chromatic, 2 octaves, okay? So first of all, things to remember about your chromatic scale. Remember, we need to use chromatic fingerings. For example, whenever you do any like B's below the staff, they need to be sliver B's. Thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4, and sliver. It's also going to apply to your high F sharps and G flats, okay? And when we do like your F sharps and G flats, remember we're going to use the thumb and 2 side key versions, okay? All right, so I'll walk you through each measure, but remember, just make sure we're using sliver B's, which will again apply to one of our high notes. Remember, some of our fingerings repeat, right? Okay, all right, so let's look at measure 1. We're going to start down on low G, and we're going to go G, and then remember, G sharp is the same thing as A flat, so first bass, then A sharp is the same thing as B flat, then there's that sliver B, C, C sharp, and D. Okay, so again for measure 1, G, G sharp, A sharp is B flat, sliver B, C, C sharp, and D. Okay, one more time. G, first bass G sharp, A sharp is B flat, B, C, C sharp is smiley, D. All right, let's try that. Now I'm going to pretend like these are quarter notes for right now. You can always speed it up later. All right, but let's kind of think quarter notes here for measure 1. This is 70. And measure 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's measure 1 in your fingerings. Now again, some of those fingerings are going to come back. For example, now your G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and C. With your register key, those become the D, D sharp, E, F, and F sharp, then G. Okay, so your first, what is that, 6 notes? Same thing, same fingering, just with register for your top 6 notes. All right, we'll get there when we get to, I guess that's kind of the third measure there, or measure 10 on your paper. All right, but let's look at the second measure there, or measure 9. We're starting on D sharp, which is our D plus bottom side key, then E, F, remember this F sharp, we're going to do the side key version, then G, G sharp is side teardrop, A, remember A sharp is B flat, so we're going to do the pinchy one. Okay, so the second measure again, D sharp, E, F, side key F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, we can land on pinchy, A sharp or B flat. Okay, so now say it with a metronome. D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp. Okay, let's try playing that second measure, or measure 9 on your chromatic scale page. 1, 2, starts on D sharp. So now for the third measure, okay, I'm going to add the top note as well to kind of include in there. All right, so the third measure, or measure 10 there, starts on our left hand side B. Then we're going to go to C, home bass. I already had that pinky down. Now that third note, C sharp, you're going to move your left pinky to the left outside. Okay, then here it comes, those repeat fingerings, because now we're on D with no pinkies. First bass D sharp, and E, F. Remember, this is a sliver F sharp now, and then your top note is G, like C with register. Okay, so again, when you get to that D, the fourth note there of measure 10, that's when our fingerings repeat just with register key. Okay, so let's finger through that measure again. We're starting back on B. I got both pinkies down, left side home bass, B, C, C sharp, D, here it is, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. Okay, so let's try to play that measure 10, or the third measure there. 1, 2. Alright, so that took us all the way up from low G, 2 octaves up to that high G. Okay, so let's see if we can say it all the way beginning to that high G, which is actually at the beginning of the next line, right? Alright, so back on low G, let's see if we can say it. Ready, here we go. G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G. All right, let's give it a try if you're ready. 1, 2, going up. So if you can make it up, going down, it's the same fingerings, but in reverse. And we have to call them flats. Okay, so let's look there at the first measure of the second line of your chromatic 2 or measure 11 there. So we're starting on the high G that we just ended at, right? C plus register. Then that G flat is going to be like a sliver F sharp or G flat there. Then F, E flat is first bass, then D. Remember, for D flat, we're going for that left outside, and I went ahead and put home bass down too. And then C, so lift up, and then, oh, that's it for that measure, right? So G, then sliver G flat, F, E, first bass E flat, D, left outside D flat, home bass C. Okay, it's a lot like measure 10 there, the measure before it, but now we just have to do it reverse order and call them flats. Okay, so let's try playing that measure 11 there. 1, 2, ready? Okay, so just get used to some of those register fingerings. Some of them repeated from the previous measure, and remember even the beginning without your register key. Okay, all right, but now we're looking at measure 12, so this one starts on the left hand side B, then we go to B flat, A flat is side teardrop, G, remember G flat, we're using the 2 side key version, then F and E. So again, left hand side B, then B flat, A flat, G, side G flat, F, and E. All right, let's try measure 12 there. 1, 2. And I left my right hand down until I got to like the open G. Okay, I lifted it up for G flat. All right, then finally, here it is. Let's look at measure 13 plus the last note, the low G. So we start on E flat, D plus bottom side key, then D flat is smiley, C, remember sliver B flat, A flat is first bass there, and then G. So E flat, D, smiley D flat, C, sliver B flat, A, first bass A flat, G. All right, let's try to finish that one out there. 1, 2, on the E flat. Now, it's kind of a long video, so I'm going to go ahead and play from measure 11 all the way down to the bottom, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you, then we'll try the whole thing, okay? Here we go. Second line at the high G, going to the low G. 1, 2, put it together. All right, now that we've put hopefully all the pieces together, I'll play you the whole thing a little bit faster here. I'm still gonna think kind of quarter notes, but this is now at 80. So very beginning to the top, all the way back to the bottom. 1, 2. Once you get that, you can start going faster, turn it back into eighth notes if you want, and see how fast you can get that finger pattern going, guys. Good luck.